Hello everyone, so in this video let us talk about the first three problems from the latest lead code contest, bi-weekly contest 90. So let's start. The first problem is odd string difference. So the problem statement goes like this, that you're given an array of equal length strings words. So as you can see here, there's an array of words which has equal length strings. Okay, and each string word of I can be converted to an integer, like difference integer array. So from every string you have to create difference integer array. Now how this different integer array is created, so what you can see is, like, you can go over the definition, I'll tell you in brief. What you can see is that you have to find out the difference between every two adjacent characters such that the characters are mapped to this mapping, so that a is mapped to 0, b is mapped to 1, and so on. Okay, so it's just like the mapping. So a is mapped to 0, b is mapped to 1, and so on. And then you have to find out the difference between every adjacent character. So as you can see, for this string you just do a subtraction of c minus a, b minus c. So c minus a is 2 minus 0, and b minus c, which is 1 minus 2. So answer is 2 and minus 1. That is the difference array. Now all the strings in this word has the same difference array except one string. You have to print out that string that has a different difference array. How can you solve about this problem? So what like, there are multiple approaches to solve this problem out, but what I thought is, okay, you have to somehow store the frequency of these difference array. For that, like for storing out this difference, you have to do a mapping of an array to our integer, so that how many times every difference array is occurring. So you have to use a map in which you will store the mapping of you can say an array to a frequency, like an integer. So that is one of the mapping you have to create. Okay, creating out the you can say difference integer array for every string is very simple, fairly simple. You just iterate over this whole string and subtract out these characters and find out the difference. That is also simple. But now let's say that after counting out or storing out the frequencies, that okay, this difference array is occurring this time, this is different array is occurring this time, you have to just find out, iterate over this whole map and see which difference array is occurring only one time. But you have the mapping of the difference array and the integer, like how many count it has. I have to print the string. So you have to also store a mapping of the difference array and the string from which you deduce this difference array. Okay, such that in the end, when you have the difference array, you from difference array you can again get the string back. You have to store now two, you can say, mappings. Okay, one of the mappings is from difference array to the, you can say, string from which you have deduced the difference array, as well as difference array and the frequency. That's it. So that's the whole thing. Okay, what we have done in the problem statement, you have created two mappings, difference array to string and difference array to integer. That is storing out the count of every difference array, and this is the mapping of difference array to the string from which you deduce the difference array. Now you iterate over every word. First you convert this particular, you can say, string to its difference array. How you convert it? You just iterate over all the complete string from the first index to the last and subtract out like I and I minus 1. Okay, subtract out and show it in this answer vector and just push it out all the differences and difference array is created. Now you have stored this difference array in this vector. Now to store two mappings. One is like how many times this difference array is occurring. So difference array in integer plus plus, and you have also created a mapping of this particular difference array to the string. That is this string. Now in the end you have the complete difference array, and you did over this difference array integer mapping which stores all the frequencies. Now you just find out whatever difference array is only occurring one time, because that is the one that we are looking for. And when you find out the difference array, just take the difference array, that is I dot first, from this mapping, and find out the string associated to that difference array and just return that string. That's it. That's the whole problem statement and the solution for the first problem. Okay, moving down to the second problem, words within two edits of dictionary. So you are given two string arrays, as you can see here. Okay, two string arrays, like queries and dictionary. All words in each array comprise of lowercase English alphabets and all have the same length. Okay, all these words have the same length. Okay, in one edit you can do is, like, in one edit you can take any word from this query word and change any letter of that particular word. Okay, you can take any word, like take any word and change any character of it. Now you have to find out all the words from this query array, such that after doing at most, like maximum of two edits, you can get this query words equal to any word in the dictionary. Okay, so you just have to find out all these words from the query array, such that you can do at most two maximum edits. In edits you can change out any character to any other character, such that after doing those two edits, this word should be found in the dictionary array. Okay, if it is possible, then that query is perfect. you have to create an array of what all query words are perfect, in which like you can you have to just print out all those words, else it is not good. So you just have to return an array of all the words from queries that are good to go, that are present inside a dictionary after at most 2 changes. So it's very simple now. What you can do is that for every, because the conditions are very small, okay, so for every query you have to check that whether it is found in dictionary. So what you can do is that you can just do a one-to-one mapping, that okay, can I convert this query word to this dictionary word, can I convert this word to this word. So for every word, check with every dictionary word and check that can I convert this particular word to that dictionary word. If I find out any match, then don't go any further, okay. If I find that word can be converted to wood, let's just assume, then because I can convert both the first word are same, you can convert the last rd to od, and then you can just convert a word to like wood. So which means that you can convert word to word. So don't look for any further, because you have find out a match, okay. You don't have to look for more words. You just find out that whether the word in the query can be converted to any word. It can be converted, just leave and go to the next word in the queries. Okay, now how can you check out that it can be converted? Just because both of them are the same length, just iterate over both of these strings, like all the characters one by one. If they are same, you don't need to convert them. If they're not same, just increment the count how many words are not same between these two strings, and the number of words that are not same should not be greater than 2. If it is greater than 2, I cannot convert them, because I can do at most 2 changes. Okay, so it's very simple. Again, you just iterate over these strings and just find out the non-matching characters. If the number of non-matching characters is greater than 2, then the answer is like they cannot be converted to the string. If it is less than equal to 2, then they can be converted, and that's it. So that's the whole thing that we have to do. That just create a string, answer that how many final, you have to find out how many query words are possible, iterate over both of them in a nested for loop, and just match the query of I with every word in dictionary of j. And if they matches out, then push that particular query word and break. Don't keep on matching with other dictionary words. Okay, how we will match out, we will just iterate over both these strings like over this for loop, and find out how many words are not same. Okay, not like all the characters that are not same in both the strings, that is increment the difference. And if the number of difference is less than equal to, then it is a good to go word, else it is not a good to go. Okay, that's the whole problem and the solution for the second problem. The third problem is destroy sequential target. So you're given a 0 index array, as you can see here, consisting of positive integers, okay, representing a target on a number line. Okay, so these are different targets on a number line, you can say. Okay, now you are given also an integer space. Okay, now you have a machine that can destroy these targets. Okay, cool. So seeding the machine with some nums of I. So seeding means that you have to start, okay, you have to start with this machine with a particular some value that is from nums of I only. Okay, now that will allow you to destroy all the values like all the targets from this value, so that you can only destroy the values from this nums array if they can be represented as this value. So nums of I plus c into space. So c is any non-negative integer. What it actually means is that you have to first seed, okay, so which means that you have to first choose out any number from this array. Now if you choose out any array, then you can see that any number that you will choose, then it will add a multiple of, like c is any number, okay, 1 2 3 4, any multiple of space is added to this nums of I. Okay, then all those multiples including nums of I. So let's say z is, let's say, non-negative, so it is 0 1 2, so nums of I plus c into space, nums of I plus 2 into space, nums of I 3 into space. So all of those are destroyed by this particular target. So you have to maximize the targets that you will destroy. So you have to just choose out any possible nums of I. Now you will not be able to like do this in a very brute force way. So what you can do is that you have to understand that, okay, I have to choose out some number or some nums of I, so that I'm able to destroy all those, you can say, multiples. So it's also very simple. What you can say is that first you have to just understand that what all targets are categorized as one. So it means that some multiple is added, okay, multiple of space is added. So what you can see is, okay, just completely take this particular, you can say, term that you have. So let's say nums, okay, nums of, let's say you, okay, let's say you choose x, you just choose a value that is x. Okay, let's okay, let's say you choose the value x. So x plus, you have, let's say, c into, let's say, space. Okay, now this c can be like any value, let's say 0 1 2. Okay, so this is a multiple of this plus x. Now what you can see is that if what all terms that will come under here, what you can see is that you will just do mod of space, because if you do mod of space, like what is the remainder of this, what you can see is that this, when you do mod of space, this will become, this term will become 0, and this is just x mod space. So all those terms, let's say that you choose any, let's say any x, let's say you choose any number that is, let's say 2, 4, let's say you choose 2. Okay, then all the multiples, let's say 2 plus, now this let's say the space is, let's say 5. Okay, so 5, then 2 plus 10, 2 plus 15, so all of them are there. Now because you know that space is equal to 5, if you do a multiple of 5, like mod this whole term with 5, this will get, like, this remainder will be 0, and this will just do 2 mod 5. Okay, now what you can see is that this term, like this term is okay with, that is good to go. But what you can see is that if you take, okay, let's say let's just take any term. Okay, let's say that you have 7. Okay, now what you understand is 7 is 2 plus 5. Okay, this term, whatever term is there, okay, if it has some multiple of space, that will get cancelled out by the when I'm doing mod with space. So only those terms which are left, okay, so that we can represent these terms. So what it eventually means is that if I just take this value, mod it with space, then there is some value that is multiple of space that will get removed, and only the remainder part is left. Now for all these different nums of I, remainder should be same, because multiple of space I can give any. Okay, I can do add any multiple of space, but this should remain same for all these numbers, then only we can destroy it. So what it eventually means is that you have to just find out that, just take all these numbers and mod it with space, and count out how many numbers are there which has the same modulus, the same remainder, and just count out and just find out the number that is occurring the maximum number of times in that, and just print out that. That's the whole thing. Okay, so you can just look over the explanation one more time if you have any doubts, and if you can ping me out on the comment box also if you have more doubts. So what you can see is that you can sort out this whole array, and then what you can do, I think so, sorting out, okay, you can do that. Now what you can do is that you have to just find out the maximum of all of them. So you just iterate over all of these values one by one. Now what you'll do is that you will just do a mod of that particular value with space, and just add in that, and whatever you just find out all of these values, just maximize it, and then after maximizing it, like whatever value is there which has the maximum value, so because you have sorted them, you will choose the minimum of them. Okay, so the multiple of them, but you choose the minimum, because such that you have to again find out the other values that are multiple of this. Okay, then only if you just choose a maximum value, you will not go to below, because you cannot choose a non-negative value. Negative values are not applicable. So you choose a minimum value. So now you again iterate over this whole nums of I. You could have not sorted this out at all and just iterate over this whole string, but you have to choose the minimum of all of them. That is also possible. Okay, minimum of all the values that satisfy this condition, which has this value equal to maxi, but it is the minimum among all of those. So that is also possible, and just return the I value that is able from nums of I, that is able to choose them, so that it gives the maximum number of destroying by this particular from that particular target array. So that's the overall problem and the solution for the third problem as well. If you have any doubts, you can mention in the comment box of this particular problem. I will see you in the next one. Thank you, coding, and bye.